This report, and I am now in the background, is in line with Rule 205 of our Rules of Procedure. Right Honourable Speaker, Parliament approved the total budget of 72.130 trillion for this financial year. The Minister of Finance in January this calendar year revised this budget through a supplementary schedule number 1 to 73.18 trillion. The ministry then tabled the second supplementary request in February, primarily transfer money meant for rationalized agencies to ministries. It has now trafficked another supplementary schedule number 3, totaling 4.255 trillion. That will revise the budget to 77.4 trillion, the budget of this financial year. This supplementary request is in two parts. Just for emphasis, the main report captures that, one that is below the 3% and one that is above. So I'll skip those two paragraphs. Remember, Right Honourable Speaker and honourable members, that this budget started with 52.7 trillion in the budget framework paper. It grew to 54.5 million in the draft estimates and 58 trillion in the appropriation bill, finally becoming 72 with the last minute Kurujena. You remember the one they brought here at lunchtime. This therefore has been a chaotic appropriation process, one not seen in the modern history of this parliament. Non-compliance with the law, just for emphasis, the Honourable Do dealt with this matter. Rule 153, and I go to 3 specifically, states that the Speaker shall commit the proposed supplementary estimates to the Budget Committee and to each sectoral committee the part of the supplementary that follows within the jurisdiction of the respective sectoral committee. That to save the committee, because ordinarily they are supposed to look at procurement plans, recruitment, work plan, etc. And please take note, before I resume, that we have 3 months to go to the end of the financial year. The money you are passing, there must be capacity to absorb it. This supplementary budget request was only laid in Parliament yesterday. Suspiciously, the Budget Committee, whose chair is indisposed and vice not around, scheduled a meeting to consider this request today, March 12th. This meeting was still ongoing at the commencement of today's sitting. Yet the matter was on the order paper already. Tens of accounting officers who came to Parliament to explain the need for a supplementary budget were not even afforded adequate time to explain, as they were being marched from the Budget Committee even before introducing themselves. Mind you, this is a 4 trillion supplementary request that must be scrutinized. In truth, no serious scrutiny has been done as envisaged by our rules. The Public Finance Management Act is very clear in section 25(7). It states Parliament may approve a supplementary, or the Minister may approve a supplementary budget, as the case may be, where the expenditure is unabsorbable, unavoidable, and unforeseeable. In fact, this is not in the report, but the introduction of the chairman, the one who assumed the chair, he said none of these things fit in this description of the law. That was his introductory remarks. I hope he has included it in the minutes. And the terms are defined below. Unabsorbable means an expenditure that cannot be funded through virement. Unavoidable means an expenditure that cannot be postponed to the next financial year. Unforeseeable does not include an expenditure that was foreseeable by the vote at the time of preparation of the budget of the vote, or an expenditure that should have been included in the budget of the vote. Right Honourable Speaker and honourable members, all the items, some, by the way, very important, are items that either were included in the budget as unfunded priorities or were foreseeable. You can look at the examples I am giving below. Office of the President, RDCs. We are required to look at a recruitment plan before you pass a budget. So you mean this parliament wants to indict itself that it looked at no recruitment plan? State House wants 358 billion for emerging classified. I will come to that later. Ministry of Defense, 13 billion for operational shortfall. Minister of Education for upgrading Nelson Mandela. I don't know where they were. Not to know that you needed to upgrade the Mandela. National Curriculum Development Center. Children have already reported for A level. They are getting money to do a curriculum. God save Uganda. Minister of Science and Technology. They want 60 billion to support coffee manufacturing. I said the point I am articulating that none of these items is of an emergency nature to qualify under the Public Finance and Management Act. But I have also picked a few items that we've had problems with in this parliament, and I'll start with the Pinetis Ruwa Specialized Hospital. They now want another 290 billion. In this request, there is 380.496 billion for debt servicing, of which 290 billion is for Ruwa Specialized Hospital, being constructed by the famous President Museveni's Italian friend, Enrica Maria Aristidina Pinetti. So even you want to change Pinetti's name. But Madam,
can you finish?
But I am reading a report here.
You just continue.
In this request, you interrupted me and I lost the flow. Now, let me return. In this request, there is 380.496 billion for debt servicing, of which 298 billion is for Ruwa Specialized Hospital, being constructed by the famous President Museveni's Italian friend, Enrica Maria Aristidina Pinetti. The money, I have even provided her photo, people may forget. You look at the photo there. The money, 298 billion for Pinetti's hospital, has already been paid under the 3% that doesn't require prior parliamentary approval. This brings the total so far paid to Pinetti for this hospital to 774.469 billion. I don't need to remind the country where and when Uganda fell in love with Italian investor Pinetti. Mentioning her name is painful enough. And I provide a table there to show you how we have been pumping money in Ruwa. I don't know when she will be coming next. Please wait. So I don't need to go on the table. The Auditor General's report on Treasury operations for the year ending June 30th, 2023, highlighted concerns that although the owner's engineer issued milestone certificates based on progress reports from the contractor, the engineer faced restricted access to the construction site. This limitation undermined their role in safeguarding the interests of both the Minister of Health and the Minister of Finance. The audit further revealed that the milestone certificates were primarily based on contractor submitted reports, engineer fees, and not the actual physical work completed. The Public Accounts Committee Central, in its review of the Auditor General's report, observed that the government failed to conduct adequate due diligence on the agreements and the project overall, raising doubts about the validity of the payments relative to the work completed. The committee was unable to verify the progress of the work at the site due to repeated obstruction by the project developer. That's the Committee on Public Accounts. In light of these issues, there is significant risk of financial loss for Ugandans if additional funding is allocated to the project. It is recommended that the project be halted until a special audit report is completed and Parliament can deliberate on the findings. From Museveni to Pineti to Amina. Now I am on another vote. Minister of Finance is also seeking approval of 115 billion already given to another woman investor, Miss Amina Mogi Hass of Somali origin.
Yes.
The money has been pumped in her company, the Hoyal Investment Holding Company Limited, facilitated Attack Sugar Factory. That they are facilitating it to return to operations. This money is being requested under Ministry of Trade, and it has been transferred to Amina through Uganda Development Company. We have so far spent 553.71 billion on this factory. If you approve 115 billion, you will have given Amina 668.710 billion. The stake of Uganda in this factory is 40% ordinary shares, bought at 80 billion. This company was last valued in 2018-19 and its value was put at 205 billion. The government also has preferential shares in this company. The government is almost absent on the board but continues pumping money into this factory. Please take note that Ms. Amina has invested only 125 billion in the company, has 60% shares, and the government that has invested 668 billion, only 40 shares. Only a madman continues making such an investment. We are being taken for a ride. These sort of agreements are the reason we have ended up where we are with Umeme. And how we have been giving money to this factory, that is the table that follows. Country spending 2.8 billion on Museveni and wife daily. I am now on State House. They are the occupants. You can say no, but that's the law. I have even put their picture. The approved budget for State House for financial year 2024-2025 was 452.2 billion. In January, I don't know why they are not putting the picture. In January, about, you've given them too much money, they are now staging weddings. In January, about a month ago,
There's
State
an
House
order. There's
that
an
they didn't have a
order from
wedding.
Macho. From Macho first.
Madam Speaker, I'm happy that my good friend, Honorable Ssemujju, is representing his minority report. And he's a honorable member of Parliament. Madam Speaker, honorable, in the English dictionary, means respect. In Luganda, I don't know what it means. But one day, Honorable Odur described it here. He's presenting a report that he wants support from members of Parliament, but the language he's using, and even the pictures, because we had a majority report from government. It didn't show any picture personalizing anybody. Is therefore, Honorable, my brother Nganda, presenting well when he is trying to insinuate and attack a personality of a president and his family by even showing the pictures, is he in order?
Honorable Ssemujju, it's just out of courtesy and respect for you to present your report without bringing any pictures. It doesn't require. And if it is an issue of State House, if it is an issue of State House, for instance, if you're allocating money to Parliament of Uganda, are you allocating to Among? You are allocating to everybody, all the members of Parliament, the security, the what, all those people. Those are the people who are taking care of your life, protecting you. When you talk about, I don't know whether you can ever finish a debate in this house without mentioning the names Seven and Janet. Can't you do that? That would even make your submission better. There's a procedural matter.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, I think Honorable Ssemujju needs to understand this. Article 99 and Article 98 of our Constitution, it tells us that there shall be a president, the commander-in-chief, and the head of state. And in this case, we have a president, and the president who has been elected by the majority and who are the Ugandans of this nation. Right Honorable Speaker, there is a difference between State House and President Museveni. A very big difference. Once we sit here as Parliament and we allocate money to cater for State House, it has to do with State House duties and the functions. That's not President Museveni. Just like Parliament. For instance, Right Honorable Speaker, Honorable Ssemujju is a member of Parliament, but is being facilitated by the government of Uganda to go and perform duties that are totally meant for him to perform for the good of his constituents. But that doesn't mean that you, the Honorable Ssemujju Nganda, when you give out something to your constituent, that means that you have cheated Uganda. Secondly, Right Honorable Speaker, I wanted to inform Honorable Ssemujju that President Museveni and his family, they are not as poor as you think, to be sincere. And even the money that we give out, it is not meant for them. That is for the State House as a what? As an entity or as an institution. Is he proceeding well to continue bringing personal pictures, photos, and everything, and even giving out people's names without giving us a clear evidence? Even the money that you talk about, there are people who can be able to account for it. And even today, when the committee, you asked that question and it was fully answered. I think this should stop, Right Honorable Speaker.
Thank you.
It has become a habit here.
Thank you. Honorable members, our rules dictate that we don't discuss about persons who are not in this house. President Museveni is not in this house with his family, so it is not proper for you to start mentioning about their names. If the money is for State House, let it be for State House. Let it be for State House.
You see, the trouble, Madam Speaker, you need to go and read the law called the Presidential Vice President and Prime Minister's Emoluments and Benefits Act. This is personal.
You're telling who to read the law?
The one who is very angry that the family is talked about.
And what's wrong with them getting the benefits by virtue of their offices?
And I am not.
Madam Speaker, first of all, I have had a statement from my good friend, Honorable Ssemujju saying that this is personal, like the colleague did say, first it's constitutional that this country takes foot of the bills of the head of state. Is it in order to begin to assume that as per the figures he has attributed here, specifically go to the head of state as Museveni as personal? Is it in order?
By the way, when it is your entitlement, it's your entitlement. Like today, the leader of opposition's vehicle was smashed. It is his entitlement. We as parliament, we are going to repair it again, even if we didn't send him to Kawempe.
Madam Speaker, Madam Speaker,
there is a procedure matter. Honourable members, I will be forced to now push the thing to debate if you're not finishing.
Madam Speaker, I needed your guidance. I want your guidance in accordance with Article 164. Article 164, sorry, yeah.
On accountability?
Yeah, it says permanent secretary or the accounting officer in charge of a ministry or department shall be accountable to Parliament for all funds in that ministry. And 64(3) says Parliament shall monitor all expenditure
Of the
of
public
public funds.
Yes.
So I don't know if we are not proceeding well when a member chooses to inquire into how monies which are derived from the consolidated fund are spent. What law would that member have breached? I needed your guidance on that.
Honourable member, it says the accounting officer. Museveni is not the accounting officer. We have an accounting officer in that office who has never failed to do accountability for the monies that are given to that vote. So for that case, we can interrogate onto the vote, but then to the accounting officer. Me, I'm a beneficiary. I don't mind whether there's fuel in my car or whatever, but it has to be there. It is my benefit. On who? On who? You let him finish, and
yeah. You are a senior MP. Let me finish my report.
Honourable members,
Madam Speaker, in January, about a month ago,
order on who?
Right, Honourable Speaker.
Order on who?
My point of order, Right, Honourable Speaker, we spent 2 weeks here discussing the dress code of members of Parliament. We were clear, and our rules were amended, and they became very clear, and they began with immediate effect. Right, Honourable Speaker, I remember 2 weeks ago, one of the colleagues came and began to urge about the cultural dressing, and we ruled it out. Is Honourable Oguzuli in order, Right Honourable, to dress as if he has come for a ceremony in Nigeria, yet the rest of...
Honourable members, I am yet to gazette the rules. So for now, the rules are not yet gazetted. Once gazetted, then they take effect. Can you finish?
Madam Speaker, under the rules, you have a duty to protect me, but you're also joining those who are harassing me. Because I have got to read the report. In January, you are a senior MP. Stop heckling like you were in a market. In January, about a month ago...
there is an order. Why are you harassing me?
Madam Speaker, first of all, it's very absurd that I'm really moving on a point of order to a senior member who has been here with me from the time we came together. First of all, is he in order to begin using a derogatory language against the chair and doubting the authority of the chair is in order.
You know, there is growing up and being brought up. Thank you.
Madam Speaker, I want to stick to the report because this is important for the country.
Please go stick to the report.
In January, about a month ago, State House came back to Parliament requesting to increase its budget by 234.75 billion for classified expenditure. You obedient MPs approved it, bringing the total State House budget for this financial year to 686.6 billion. They have come back again with another request of 367 billion, which, if you approve, will bring State House 2024-25 financial year's budget to 1 trillion, even before the year has ended. If you divide this money by the number of days in a year, it means the country is spending 2.8 billion on the residence of our dear president and his dear wife daily, 120 billion per hour, 120 million and 2 million per second. In these 2 minutes that I am speaking to you, the president and Mama have already spent about $500 million. Honourable members, you also need to take note that classified expenditure has become the code for siphoning taxpayers' money. State House was given 8 billion for classified in the budget.
Order.
Why doesn't Honorable Gwanga stand here? Because he has an order for every sentence.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, you have clearly guided that His Excellency the President, General Kaguta Museveni, is not a vote. Is Honorable Ssemujju therefore in order to continue speaking about the President as if he's the vote? Can you please stick to State House or President's office? Is he in order to insist and continue misleading this House, misleading himself?
Honorable Ssemujju, can you read the report? Stick to your report. Can we finish your report?
Honourable members, you also need to take note
Yes.
that classified expenditure has become the code for siphoning taxpayers' money.
Honorable members, you are now.
Madam Speaker, I am moving on a point of procedure. With due respect to my colleague Honorable Ssemujju, I have looked at the report and the wording of that report. It lacks the decorum of this House, with due respect. Number two, if you look at what my colleague had previously submitted here, it also brings in the accounting officer here in question, and at the same time is lumping it to the head of state as a person. Because, for instance, Madam Speaker, he clearly gives a day, a minute, a second. These figures cannot be accepted and quoted to the head of state. Madam Speaker, moving on the point of procedure. Is Honorable Ssemujju Nganda procedurally right to continue misleading and giving irrelevant report which does not conform to the decorum of this House? Is it procedurally right?
Honorable members, the more you continue interjecting, you're giving him relevance. Let him finish his report. Let him finish his report. Then we'll go to vote by vote. Honorable members, listen.
You see the trouble.
It is a minority report. You cannot reject a minority report. Why don't you read the rules?
You see that.
Can you finish your report?
Yeah, but you see, I am being interrupted, including by colleagues who don't even know that when the speaker makes a ruling, you can't move a motion. You know how to move. But maybe some orientation is still necessary. Honorable members, you also need to take note that classified expenditure has become the code for siphoning taxpayers' money. State House was given 8 billion for classified in the budget. The subsequent requests are all of classified in nature, totaling now to 600 billion, which is 57% of the total State House budget. What is classified about a residence? Like I see colleagues who are agitated. What is classified about a residence? We need to assign a parliamentary committee to interview our president and his wife. Tell us what is classified, what classified things do they do at their residence?
By the way, we have a committee on classified.
Yes.
We have a committee on classified, and reports are always made on classified.
State House is the creature. This is important.
Yeah, thank you, Madam Chair. I'm glad and you have confirmed this issue has been bothering me, how we proceed on classified expenditure, and you have informed the House. Would you be pleased to go a little bit extra and inform us who is the chairperson of classified and the members for the record of this House?
You know the word classified. Honorable members, we have 2 classified committees. We have a classified for budget purpose, and then we have classified for oversight. The classified for oversight, the chair of the classified for oversight is the speaker. The members include the chair Park and 2 classified persons, 2 classified MPs who are vetted and are put there. So those members are there. There are 4 members in that committee. Then in the budget committee, the budget classified is chair defense, chair budget, and 1 other classified member.
Madam Chair, thank you very much for that information. I didn't have it, and with the information you have provided, it is the first time in the history of the Commonwealth, unprecedented, that the Speaker chairs a committee and reports to herself. Thank you.
It is the law, and I got it there. I did not invent it. Yes.
In the law, the committee is supposed to report to you, the Speaker. But now, since you are the chair, you can see that you are now reporting to yourself, which is still okay.
Don't worry. Yes.
Honourable Speaker, the rules don't allow a member to start arguing with the chair while the session is on. I am raising on the point of procedure that why the Honourable Ssemujju is presenting a minority report, and he has all the rights to do that. But the rules provide for decorum, and he should not use language which is objectionable. And I want to move under Rule 229, which says where the Speaker is of the opinion, and I want to invite you to form that opinion, that the words that have been used in debate are defamatory, indecent, unparliamentary, or undignified. The Speaker shall order that such words be expunged from the official record of Parliament. You have guided, Madam Speaker, that there is a world of difference between State House as a public office and President Yoweri Museveni and his family. Yes. For instance, I know we've been passing money under State House. That money is audited by the Auditor General. The report comes to Parliament. But the Honourable Ssemujju keeps insisting trying to persuade us that the budget we allocate is for President Yoweri Museveni as a person. I find this objectionable.
There is nowhere they are saying the budget is for President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. Let's leave that. Can you finish your report and give us? For us, we want to go. We want to go to the votes. Let's go to the votes.
Madam Speaker, this was going to be a presentation of 20 minutes.
Can you finish?
It is colleagues who are making it longer. Even me, I am tired. I want to finish. Madam Speaker and honorable members, State House is the creature of the emoluments and benefits of President, Vice President, and Prime Minister Act 2010. The second schedule provides for a free facilitated State House. If you read the interpretation section, it even restricts the President to one wife, the interpretation section. I know you ruling party MPs love the President so much, but you have a duty to save him from himself and save the country from his family. Rubbish expenditure.
So you mean he has how many wives?
You know, I am reading a report. Now you're inviting me to debate. What you're asking me, Madam Speaker, is not in my report. I therefore urge you not to allow this colossal abuse of taxpayers' money by our dear leader. Good thing is, the President and his dear wife both earn a monthly salary. For once, let them use their salaries to finance their lives. The money you are spending on 2 old people is equivalent to what you are spending on 37% of the population under PDM, 15 million people. Ntungamo Coffee Factory, 167 billion. Being requested for in this supplementary is 67 billion for Mr. Nelson Tugume factory in Ntungamo. Baguma, sorry. The money is for, his name is Tugume, I made a mistake here. The money is for completion and operationalization of the Coffee Value Addition Park and for a power line. 60 billion is being requested for by Minister of Science and the 7 by Minister of Energy. How comes for Baguma nobody is standing to complain? Because I am also reading his name. Mind you, we have no legal relationship with this factory in which we have so far invested 112 billion and we are now adding another 67 billion. Remember, this coffee factory first received 37 billion 2023-2024 and 75 billion in this current budget. We are now giving it more through a supplementary. The accounting office of the Ministry of Science has told the budget committee today that they are in consultation with the Attorney General for purposes of establishing a legal relationship with this company. We are just putting their money and then what exists is a memorandum of understanding which the accounting officer promised to present to the committee, but the speed at which the committee was proceeding, we came here before he had returned. Finally, and this is to illustrate the earlier points, Umeme buyout. In the supplementary, there is a 725.42 billion for Umeme buyout. Energy Minister, the Honorable Nankabirwa, I hope nobody will complain again that I am putting names, told the budget committee that Umeme was demanding initially $225 million, which is $832.5 billion. But after an audit, it was reduced to $190.9 million, which is $725 billion. The Minister of Energy told the committee that in the case of ESCOM, when the concession ended, there was no buyout like the case is with Umeme. That's what happened with the Jacobson. Madam Speaker, because no serious scrutiny has done, even me, I was just trying, because I had 20 minutes to do a report. And I was doing a report, the matter was being called. So there are many things. Your duty today as colleagues is to subject every single request to the law. Is it unforeseen? Is it unavoidable? Is it an emergency? That's the duty you have on behalf of the country. If you betray the country, one day you'll have to answer. And I want to thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, thank you. Thank you for the report.